This is a great white shark, and this is the Scottish National Party's spring conference. The link? As the shark's tooth falls out, another, equally sharp and effective one slots straight into place, leaving the organism stronger than ever. And that, my friends, is the essence of the great white shark political miracle the SNP has pulled off.
And vote SNP to make our voice.
From the potential disaster of the referendum defeat back in September, the party boss exhausted in the pre-dawn gloom.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's been a pretty fair kick of the ball.
But then look what happened. The party replaced Alex Salmond, arguably the most effective British politician, with Nicola Sturgeon, unarguably, at the dispatch box and ballot box, the most effective British politician. Shark's teeth, all right. The journey to the modern SNP begins around 2007. They were in a minority government, but all the while somehow making the old dominant Labour Party feel out of touch to voters. Their victory in the Glasgow East by-election the following year, a sign of what was to come. By 2011, they had a majority, Alex Salmond leading the party to control Holyrood, and the timetable to independence and the referendum started ticking. Last autumn's independence referendum campaign had to be witnessed to be believed.
Yes, 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 yes!
All the old apathy of British politics somehow gone as people of all ages engaged.
We're close, it can actually happen. I didn't think it could happen, but it could happen. We can do this!
The promise of more devolution from the major party leaders might have kept Scotland in the Union, but the SNP Yes campaign energy didn't dissipate with defeat.
A little after 5:30 here in George Square, and the crowds are thinning out. Recognition that the result is a no. But two messages from young people here. First is that politics has changed in this country and changed forever.
When the Prime Minister came out the day after the result and said that Scottish devolution would be settled, along with the question of English votes for English laws, many Scots again felt shut out from the Westminster process, and the momentum rolled again. And then that masterstroke, the shark's tooth moment. The SNP putting on over 100,000 members across the winter, by far the fastest growing British party. Nicola Sturgeon filling venues normally booked by global rock stars. She was the selfie sensation of an SNP election landslide this year, when she wasn't even standing. Queen of the TV debate, punters across Britain voted her the best party leader, let alone the Scots.
We really need to break the old boys' network at Westminster.
And all done with the SNP not even campaigning for independence in the election. The day after the poll, 56 SNP MPs line up beneath the Forth Bridge. The English looked on amazed and surprised. In fact, though, it was just the logical progression of the rise and rise of the Nats.
Rather like the flying conditions today, it's been a pretty smooth ride for the SNP throughout this election campaign. But they know, as well as anybody else, that the really tough business has yet to come after the election and after the poll.
Which all now leaves David Cameron with a high wire act. The SNP say 56 MPs is not a mandate for independence, and they plough on towards full fiscal autonomy for their country. Until recently, they were more anti-austerity than any other major British party. There is a but, though. The SNP won all those seats on an anti-austerity platform. They repeatedly said they weren't campaigning for independence in the election. But the new Labour leader is now very firmly on their turf. It was a massive upset when Jeremy Corbyn took control of the party. In left-leaning Scotland, could he somehow pull off yet another shock victory there? Well, trying to fend him off on the one hand and keep independence, of course, centrally on the agenda may be the party's toughest challenge yet. But watch what's happening. The recent fox hunting intervention turned what was in fact a grotesque political U-turn against party policy not to interfere in English politics into a triumph.
That underlines that David Cameron is not master of all he surveys in the House of Commons. He's got a fragile majority.
Then, the very same day, Mhairi Black's barnstorming maiden speech.
We now have one of the most uncaring, uncompromising and out-of-touch governments that the UK has seen since Thatcher.
Here.
David Cameron has a major dilemma. If there is a vote to leave the EU, or even if he gets scratchy on fiscal autonomy, the SNP can and will say, louder and louder, that Tory England is forcing independence back onto the agenda. And which Tory would be bold enough to gamble once more on another indie ref, but this time led by the selfie queen herself and the 56 of the Commons.